Good afternoon. Welcome to my podcast, Family Law Uncensored, Family Law and Family Formation. I'm your host, Maya Shulman, family law and family law practitioner, trial attorney, mediator, and all things in between. I'm also nowadays teaching family law formation at the University of West Los Angeles. This is the only class in all of this California that teaches this course on a law school level. I'm not sure that this is much about inspiration, but more about me wanting to share what I've learned in law and in practice and in theory in the books. One thing that I find very interesting is that to this day, there's no textbook that I can offer to my students to learn surrogacy and adoption. One has not been written. We have courses that are being offered at UCLA, Loyola Pepperdine that talk about gender politics and policies, but not a single course that will teach you about surrogacy, IVF process, or adoption. And that's why I wanted to do this and teach whoever wants to learn this what I have learned now. So, two major distinctions. Number one, family law and family formation law are not one and the same. Family formation law teaches you everything that family law does not. Family formation specifically talks about building a family through surrogacy, IVF, or adoption. Again, none of this has been taught and is being taught in California except in the class that I teach today. I welcome you to check it out. The classes are available this semester on Tuesday night from 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. It's a hybrid class, so you can learn on Zoom or in person, whichever your preference. I teach it because this is something that interests me and has interested me for a long time, given my background in medicine, however short it was, but I do have it. This lingo is very easy for me. I know the terms, I can explain the terms, and I really want you to learn it because California is the most friendly or friendliest surrogacy state in the union, and that is something that people still don't know much about. Class on adoption and surrogacy is different because I'm not practicing law, I'm teaching it. And that is the best way to actually learn it as well or refresh it as well. New laws, new cases are being decided almost on a daily basis. And if not daily, weekly basis. A new case just came down last week. I will include it in my curriculum. And I will tell you that people who take this class are really interested in learning this. It's not a required class in law school, it's an elective. So people who teach it and who learn it are the ones who are interested in the subject, not because they have to take it, but because they want to take it. What I hope my students take away from the class is that this is a whole new uncharted territory. Not only because it's not being taught, but also because in the United States, which is unlike some other countries, surrogacy is not regulated. We have no laws that govern the subject, and on some level, it is still a wild, wild west. The most common misconceptions are that no one really is restricted from participating in surrogacy treatment other than if you are of advanced age, if you have a medical condition that don't allow you to become a participant, or potentially maybe finances will be a prohibitive factor that won't allow you to embark on a surrogacy journey. The same goes for adoption, except much less. Adoption is not as expensive as surrogacy. And just to give you an example, if you want to file an adoption petition, the entire cost of filing is only $20. The courts want you to adopt children. The courts want you to have a family, and they make it as inexpensive as possible. I don't necessarily consider myself a pioneer in teaching this class because I have colleagues who teach this class outside of California. This class is being taught in Massachusetts, it's being taught in New York, it's being taught in other cases in other states, but somehow California did not meet the cut. And I don't know why. California is one of the friendliest surrogacy states in the US, but somehow we don't teach it. Somehow it is still the unpopular topic at dinner table. I like that tagline. I think I'm going to use it. Maybe I should patent it as well. I am definitely the queen of unpopular, and that is why some clients are drawn to me, because frankly, I tell it like it is. I don't take any punches and I don't throw any punches, but I will tell you what you should and shouldn't, and what you should and shouldn't know. And the same applies to my family law practice and family formation practice. So what I want to teach is a practical approach to surrogacy. I want to teach a practical approach to adoption. And I want to teach it so that people know that is totally doable. I want to teach it so people are aware that there's information out there should you want to get it. One of the trends I have seen in the family formation law is that there's now much more help available for surrogacy and fertility clients and patients. There's much more help available financially. The law in California has changed. Big companies are now mandated to provide fertility coverage as of last year, and that by itself already enlarges a pool of population that is going to embark on surrogacy journey. Technology is definitely one and up and coming topics, and infertility as well. One subject that I will hope to cover, I may not because I only have so much time to do that and cover everything I want to cover, is that AI is going to be implemented in selection of the embryos. Think about this. We're going to use artificial intelligence to determine which embryos have the best rate of survival and transfer into a surrogacy couple. There have been a number of specific cases and landmark decisions that I will be talking in my class. One of them is a landmark case by name of Cass versus Cass, and that case comes from a New York Supreme Court. Now, I have to also mention that, as I said before, there's no regulation in the United States that covers surrogacy and fertility. We don't have any standard laws that are in the big book of laws that I can point you to. All the law comes from precedent, and those are the cases that have been decided by the sitting judges. And what we have to remember that case law in surrogacy and fertility focuses on the main subjects such as what is the intent of the parties? Did they intend to become parents? Are they the intended parents? And or did they intend just to be surrogates? So that is very important. You have to learn a whole new language when you talk about surrogacy. You need to know what IP stands for. And I will tell you, it does not stand for intellectual property. In the world of surrogacy, IP stands for intended parents. What does dance mean? Baby dance. Baby dance stands for when you determine the sex of the baby. What does DP stand for? DP stands for dear partner. DH stands for dear husband. So language is important. You can't learn the cases without knowing the lingo, but I will submit to you that new cases come down on a weekly basis, and I will teach most of them. If you are a law student and you quite don't know yet what practice of law you want to embark on, I highly suggest you take this class. And I suggest this because in today's environment, in today's legal profession, law practice is very niche. It is highly specialized. So if you think you want to learn family law, please do. Again, family law and family formation law are two different things. But I also suggest to you that family formation law is exciting. It hasn't been around for a long time. There's not a textbook written for it in California. I welcome you to my class. I like questions. There's not a wrong question. There could be wrong answers, and I do my very best to avoid them. But if you are considering working in adoption or fertility arena, I think this class is indispensable. Teaching this class allows me to learn it again, and I will learn it with you. It allows me to look at cases again with fresh eyes. It allows me to look at the new cases that no one has ever seen before. It allows me to teach it to you. And again, in California, I have to repeat, no one else teaches it the way I teach it because no one does at all. It's not offered in any law school in California. So that all combined, it gives me a perspective of doing something that no one else is doing at the moment. As of right now, the most rewarding thing for me teaching this class is seeing my students who are different ages. They span, I think there's a 20 year difference in students in their ages, but it's fun for me to watch them, see their eyes just look at things that they've never heard about before, they've never learned before, and thinking that there's a whole new industry out there that they don't know anything about, and really seeing them pay attention to things that no one has brought up to them before, and seeing them realize that this is something that really is going to interest them and they're going to use this opportunity to learn it. This is new for most people who listen to my podcast. I realize that. And I appreciate you've taken the time to listen to me today. I also appreciate that most of you have no idea what I'm talking about. I appreciate the fact that this is a brand new territory. I appreciate the fact that this may or may not interest you. But I invite you to spend some time, look into this, maybe give it a chance, listen to my class, come visit my class. You're welcome. And if you have questions, please do not be shy asking your questions. I will be there answering your questions. If I don't know the answer, which is possible, although not probable, I know most of them. But if I don't, I will find out the answer and I will give it to you. In any case, come see my class, come visit my class, come mingle with the students, and ask them why they take the class, because no one makes them take the class that's not required. They take the class because they're interested in learning what I have to teach. Please listen to the podcast, like it, don't like it, but do open it. You will find information that no one else is going to give you. You can find me on social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and other stuff. And I'm your host, Family Law Uncensored, Maya Shulman.